The Fujifilm 56mm f1.2R is a Hall of Fame lens for me. It was among the first couple lenses I bought when I first transitioned to the Fujifilm system from my full frame DSLRs back 5 years ago, I think. I've always been a really big fan of that 85mm field of view as far as full frame terms. And when I made the decision to switch to Fujifilm years ago, the 56 was just the lens I had my eye on the most and couldn't wait to get a hold of. And man, has it not disappointed in all the years I've been shooting with Fuji. It is, like I said, it's a Hall of Fame lens for me. It's one of my most favorite lenses I've used ever, despite its quirky characteristics. So it's not the fastest to autofocus. It's not weather sealed. The aperture ring is pretty loose. I think it's kind of notorious for that. So it's not very stiff, and it's easy to, just spin it almost freely. But despite those things, I really love the size and weight of this lens for what it is, a 56 1.2, tailor-made for the APS-C mount like all of Fujifilm's X series lenses. Gosh, the performance and just what you're getting, the look you're getting, the image quality, the sharpness, just everything you're getting out of this lens for, in my opinion, the price, the size, and the weight, it's just such an excellent value. It's such an excellent lens. So I made a review on this lens quite a long time ago, and I just wanted to do an updated video, an updated, long-term review. And I really wanted to share a lot of the photos I've been getting over the years, because it's been quite a long time since I've done anything dedicated to this lens. Paired with the X-T1, which is kind of my preferred camera body to shoot on, or the X-T2, or anything like that, I think it balances out really well, especially if you have the thumb grip attached to your camera. Holding it in one hand feels pretty good, especially if you get another, your other hand up under the body. It balances nicely, and it is not, it doesn't weigh the camera down too much. It's not as light as something like the 35 f2 or even the 50 f2. But I think for what it is, it's a good size and weight. The glass in the front, if you look at it from the front, just looks so gorgeous. It's akin to looking at something like, an 85 1.4 when you have that big front element. It's one of those kind of interesting things to look at. The autofocusing performance, it's not known for having good autofocusing speed, but honestly for me, I've never really had an issue with it. There are certain scenarios where it's, I just want it to be a little bit snappier and maybe in a low light situation or something. But overall, I've always found the autofocus serviceable and usable for what I do with it. And I think it's a decent trade-off for what you're getting out of the lens, is to have not the snappiest and fastest autofocus in the world. And I regularly use this on the X-T1, so it's not like that's really not an issue for me. But I mean, the images you can get, I fell in love with the image quality and the look you get from this lens, from day one. And I found it to be a very versatile focal length. And there are a lot of pictures that like when I was going and digging up examples for this, I'd go back through and then I didn't realize I took that photo with this lens. And there were a lot of examples of that because it's just a focal length I always gravitate towards, and it's just on my camera a lot, so I'm grabbing it and using it for a lot of documentaries type stuff because it's such a good focal length. It's such a good lens. If you've watched any of my videos, especially recently, you know that the sharpness you can get is incredible. Loads of detail. And then if you want to get some nice shadow depth of field, this lens is absolutely capable of that. And in my opinion, produces really pleasing subject isolation and background results if you want that kind of thing. But I've just always enjoyed the images this thing produces, coupled with something like the X-T1 or the X-T2. I've used it a lot on that camera because I've shot a lot of weddings and stuff with it. And honestly, if I'm second shooting a wedding, which I like to do, throughout the year here and there, I mean, I have the 56 on one camera, and I've got usually the Rokinon 12mm on the other. And that's kind of like the two lens setup I use throughout a wedding day, which kind of seems absurd, but I just really find that shooting at those two focal lengths are, that's really fun, and it covers a lot of bases. The 56, like I said, is versatile. It's not just for Head and Shoulders portraits, although it does really well at that. I've even used this lens for landscapes. I've gotten, a few landscape nature type shots that I really am proud of and really like. It's just a lens that I look at with fondness every time I'm sitting at my desk and I look over and see it sitting on the X-T2 or the X-T1. I know a lot of people clamor for an updated version with quicker autofocus and maybe weather sealed. Those things, are maybe nice features to have, but honestly, the negative aspects of the lens don't really come into play for me a whole lot. If Fuji ever did release a version 2, I don't really see the need for me to upgrade to that. I mean, honestly, I think for the price you pay for this lens, it's excellent value and worth it all day long. You can regularly find them on sale brand new for, I want to say, $800? And, on the used market, you can get them from, anywhere from $650, $750. I think it's a great deal for what you're getting in terms of image quality and the look. And, the low light capabilities, having 1.2, there have been several scenarios where I'm shooting in a really, really low light situation, and it's nice to have that 1.2. So this is, like I said, kind of my long-term review of the 56. It has served me well over the years. I've gotten a lot of great photos that I'm happy with, I'm proud of. It's come in handy on multiple weddings and, certain corporate events and commercial shoots, stuff like that. It's a workhorse lens, and it is such an amazing lens to have for this system. So despite its kind of quirkiness in some areas, despite some of its negative attributes, I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite lenses of all time, and if you are a fan of shooting at this focal length, then I don't think you can go wrong with this lens. So at any rate, those are my thoughts. That's my 5-year review, basically. What do you think? What are your opinions? Have you shot with this lens before? Is this something you aspire to get someday? Is it on your list? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.